Mr. Snerdley, was it, I'm trying to think back now, was it the Politico, and we can look this up. I just had the thought. I didn't have a chance to, I didn't have the thought during the break just now. Was the Politico the news organization tried to take out Herman Cain? Were they the first? Well, something tells me that Politico was at the top of the media food chain on the Cain thing. And here they are now running this story filled with exaggeration and innuendo itself on Ben Carson. But more importantly, remember who it is that the Republican establishment leaks to. Is it not the Politico that we all learn what the Republican establishment thinks about things? Whenever there's data, dirt, what have you, that they want people to know, seems like it always shows up in Politico. Like almost the Politico is the official leak machine for the Republican establishment. Yeah, okay, I was right. It was Politico that ran the exclusive on Herman Cain and all the affairs he supposedly had. It was Politico that led that story. Now, here's John Kerry. Yeah, I don't need it. There it is. Exclusive: 2 women accuse Cain of inappropriate behavior. During Herman Cain's tenure as the head of the National Restaurant Association in the 1990s, at least 2. So the Politico has now 2 African-American scalps. The Politico has taken out 2 black Republicans now. They've taken out Herman Cain, and they're trying to take out Ben Carson today. And they always hated Westmoreland. They always hated Westmoreland. They hated him, too. But I think, as far as Ben Carson's concerned, if you're a young 19-year-old, or however young he was, and you're the top ROTC graduate in your town, and Westmoreland starts plugging West Point to you, and as part of the conversation mentions how you get all your costs covered, a young kid like Carson coming from the ghetto might, well, they're offering me a scholarship. Might not have known how West Point operates. I don't know. I don't know if it's interesting or not. But here, my point, folks, is we've got the Politico and we've got CNN, and the 2 of them are trying to take Ben Carson out. And it's, who cares what CNN thinks and who cares what the Politico thinks? This crap has to stop. Won't stop. It won't stop. And we can't ignore it and not talk about it when it happens, when the allegation. This is actually what I mean by way of what we do every day when we get up here. We're minding our own business. Like I said, I was getting ready to have just a run-of-the-mill, normal, everyday Friday. Now what do I find myself doing? I have to rise to the defense of somebody on my side who is under an all-out attack that's intended to destroy them. And this has been my point all along to people on my side who complain to me about the social issues. You got to stop talking about the social issues. They don't mean just me. They mean the whole party. We got to stop talking about social issues. The social issues, Rush, that's why the Republicans are losing. We got to stop. I said, I'm not the one bringing them up. The left is responsible for social issues being in the news because they are the ones launching attacks on the culture. They are the ones launching attacks on how we've always defined morality and civility. They're trying to throw it overboard. They're trying to upend it. Somebody's got to stand up and defend these things, and that's all I do. And we got it, and we sit up here and end up being accused of going on the attack or bringing up the social issues. This is exactly how it works. Now, let's go back to the audio soundbites quickly. Ben Carson was on CNN today talking to Allison Camerata. She said, you say that when you were 14, you almost killed your friend Bob with a camping knife. You tried to stab him in the stomach for changing the radio station. As you know, CNN's been trying to find people who were involved in these incidents or witnessed them. And they've tried to find Jerry.
You go and talk to people primarily who knew me in high school, who don't know anything about, for instance, the lock situation that occurred at Wilson Junior High School. I don't understand how talking to people who knew me, particularly after the time that I had become a much more calm person, how does that corroborate the story that I'm lying about this? I want to know what the mythology is there. This is a bunch of lies. This is what it is. It's a bunch of lies attempting, to say that I'm lying about my history. I think it's pathetic.
Camerata said, look, I know you call this tactics, but in politics it's called vetting, and that's all we're doing. Mr. Carson, we're vetting you.
Is that what was done with the current president? Is that what you guys did with him?
Yes, as a matter of fact.
No, you did not.
President Obama's autobiography.
Are you kidding me?
Don't you remember that there was a whole question about his girlfriend and that people went back to try to find the president's girlfriend, and it turned out that she may have been a composite character, and that was revealed, and the president had to talk about that.
You all did with President Obama doesn't even come close. Doesn't even come close to what you guys are trying to do in my case. So you've done your job, okay? Kudos. Let's move on.
And then Camerata said, okay, look, it sounds as though you don't like some questions, that there are some questions that you think are out of bounds, questions about your past.
I want you to ask Hillary Clinton the same questions you asked me. Will you do that? Will you promise that you're going to do that?
Yes, of course. Of course we ask Hillary Clinton questions.
Do you ask her questions about veracity of what she's done? I want you to go back and ask her some real questions about what happened at Benghazi. Will you ask her, when did a time arrive in our nation when we said it's too dangerous to go and rescue our people, when in fact you had those two Navy SEALs on top of that compound shooting those machine guns, allowing their colleagues to escape? But I'm sure they were saying, if we can just hold out, help is on the way. But help was not on the way. Ask her why help was not on the way. Please ask her those questions. I would appreciate it.
Doesn't sound like he's all that mild-mannered there to me. That sounds like almost an on-fire Ben Carson.